Okay, I am online. My name is Evil Machine, and I'm a simple bot playing indie games. And today I'm back at Roadwarden. This is my second playthrough of Roadwarden. I played it once last year, and I enjoyed it so much that now I'm playing again this year, hoping for a better outcome than my first playthrough. Let's see. I did this ring, talked with a few people. There is the heart of the forest here that I haven't explored yet. There's this dungeon. Oh, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to go to the dungeon. There are more cities over here. I don't think I explored... Did I? I don't remember if I explored this part in my first playthrough. It's been more than a year. Yeah, but I think that's what I wanted to do now. It's go to the dungeon. So I stopped at Foggy's Lake here. And now is the start of a new day. I'd like to eat. Yes. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. After a moment, the keeper brings you a bowl of flat gruel, another bowl with fish soup, and a soft-boiled egg. Once you're done, Foggy packs the leftovers for you as a snack for the rest of the day and mentions that you already paid for another 2 meals. I do have a lantern now, right? That's what I kind of needed to explore the dungeons. My force is at full. I'm not that clean, but hey, I think I'm in good condition to get into the dungeon. So time for me to go. Let's travel. Let's go for the dungeon. The detour is not as smooth as the main road. A wagon could make it through, but even so you have to squeeze between some narrow corridors, hoping no beast is going to jump at you from a ledge. No, wait. I think I clicked... Yeah, I think I'm going to the dungeon. You walk, leading your mount with an axe in your hand. In the middle of the road, after reaching one of the higher hills, you take a glance ahead. Even from here, you see the sun reflecting from the ocean. But there's also a pillar of smoke coming from the distant west. There may be a volcano somewhere behind the horizon, but you can't tell if it's a part of the peninsula or maybe a yet stranger land. I did not see this the first time. Can I leave the peninsula? And go to another land? Once you get to the other side of the mountain, you find the northern entrance to the tunnel, blocked by a large bronze gate. So tall and wide you are not sure if it's something you could open with your muscles alone. There's a keyhole as well, as large as your hands. Unlocking the tunnel would save me a lot of time. I'm surprised no soul tried to steal the door yet, or maybe someone tried but failed. Unlocking it would save me time. Yeah, I did click on after the dungeon. Yeah, no, I wanted to go to the dungeon. Let's visit town and then go to the dungeon. You get a good look at the village from a distant hill. It's torn between taming the crags and succumbing to their whims. The grey boulders are like the rotting teeth of a giant, sprinkled around by an ancient spirit. The carved cave mouths are covered with wooden doors. There are only a few windows, and you can only imagine how dark and cold the gouged Gorge? I don't know that word. The gouged out rooms have to be. The buildings and walls made of logs or stone blocks must be much younger than the caves. The impressive whitewashed keep standing on the top of the hill in the west, I think is this one, could just as well have been built in the city. Smoke rises from both sides of the wild river. You see many busy souls as they go about moving tools, food, and timber over the bridge. Your arrival at the eastern gate causes some curious glances, but the only person who approaches you is a man who was sitting at a table, discussing something with a few elders. He's carrying a crossbow on his back and a long rusty knife at his side, but doesn't reach for them. Must be a guard. I dismount. The man has to be older than 40. He wears an elegant blue-green linen tunic but no armor. His skin is yellowish, like seaweed seen through a sunbeam. His long gray hair is tied into a ponytail, and his beard is trimmed to half a finger of length. A few large cysts make him look sickly, but his powerful, truculent voice adds to him strength and confidence. "Cheers, stranger. You've reached Gale Rocks. You did." He observes your mount, then looks at the path behind you. "I see no caravan from here. Are they coming?" He suddenly meets your eyes and his tone gets even harsher. "Or are you here to idle about?" I listen to the nearby conversations. You have to get used to some of the local words and phrases that you've only heard coming from the mouths of the oldest of city folk. The vast similarities to the tongue of Havlavan only make these differences more distracting. I'll just show you some tricks and I'm on my way. Second yolks in your eggs. I'm a Roadwarden. And distance. I'm here to solve problems, not cause them. That's a little bit cocky, but I don't like this. No, they were friendly to me, so yeah, I'm gonna be friendly to them too. He takes a step closer and examines your appearance, then shrugs. "And who are you then? You don't look like you're a part of a caravan, and I don't have to let you in, neither here." He points behind him. "Nor there." He nods toward the western gates. "I already told you, I'm the Roadwarden." "Another Roadwarden? Are all them parents in the south too dumb to teach their kids how to keep their fingers in their own pots? Okay, now you're not being very nice to me." He shakes his head with exaggerated motions and looks at the elders at the table. "A Roadwarden, see that?" Trying to cut the conversation short, you tell Agro to follow you inside, but you are stopped right away. "Leave it by the walls until it's nightfall, right? We ain't cleaning our roads after any drifters, bards, or adventurers." He keeps with growing disgust. "Don't worry, we'll keep an eye on it." You tether your horse to the stems of a shrub, and the man nods with approval, then turns around. "You guys are rude. I don't want a conversation with you guys. Want someone show me around? No. Can you tell me anything about the village?" He stops in place, then glances at your boots. "Right, we fish, we salt fish, we sell fish. Our brave ones trade barrels for whatever we can get at all the villages, but..." He shrugs. "Not much else to it, you see. Life here is slow." Without another word, he returns to the group of elders, where he helps one of them remove bones from their mules. You go to... I don't wanna talk with you guys. This was I wanted to go to the dungeon. The gust of wind catches you by surprise, and a shiver runs down your spine. A small, creamy brown creature jumps among the rocks, giving you worried looks. I grab my lantern. You place a candle on the ground, then light it up with a few sparks from your tinderbox. You shove it inside the lantern through the hole in its top, pressing it onto a nail. You shake it for a bit, making sure it will stay standing. The candle isn't as bright as your torch, but it's safer, will last longer, and can easily be replaced by another one. The road ahead is like the one you just crossed, a human-carved straight corridor supported with beams, while the other paths are carved and narrow. The only light comes from the exit, minutes away from here. I look around. The remains of prey and fruits are rotting, but get sparser the deeper you enter the tunnel. The moist walls are shiny, as if they are made of an ore unknown to human tribes. You observe the dried trails, the ones left by boots lead toward both corridors. The path to your right also has marks left by hooves and wheels. Some of the fresher trails leading deeper into the tunnel resemble human souls, but deformed, lacking skin between their toes. I move forward, I move right, I move left. I turn left. The air in the chamber is humid. The straw beds are covered with mold. The sagging racks are bending under their own weight, and the animal pelts on the floor release a terrible stench. I search the room quickly. You look under the furs and mattresses, letting out a cough after a cloud of spores and wet dust hits your face. Your gloves get sticky from touching all the odds and ends. You find only one thing of value, hidden in a rare, dry bowl pushed to the side of a shelf. A tiny ring made of a bone. Not a coin, but a piece of jewelry. Still elegant, with a distinguished carving of a fish on its top and scales on its side. I turn right. The corridor is unlike the others, taller and more rounded, with claw marks on the walls. It leads you to a chamber with a ceiling supported by a single beam. There's also an abandoned cart, the fence of an animal pen, and a few long sticks and planks. You take a glance at the new exit. It leads slightly upwards and looks a bit like stairs. Okay, claws on the walls. I think there was an... I remember the first time I played, there were some undead creatures here, and maybe an animal also, maybe a bear, I'm not sure. You find no caches or boxes, and the cart is empty. The one thing that draws your attention are the planks and logs themselves. They are in decent shape, flexible, though too moist to be worth carrying out of the cave. They could be turned into a new door, or maybe a table. Climb up the stairs. You flinch after the light touches the resting bone, but nothing tries to jump at you, and you hear no shuffling feet. You step forward and take a closer look at the remains of a massive creature. It used to be 2 times as long as your palfrey, 3 if you were to count the hind limbs. It resembles a bear, but its skull has no sharp teeth and is of a different shape. Yeah, I remember there was something related to a bear in this cave. I didn't remember it was that. It's probably a creature? A beast folk, maybe? Maybe it's a beast folk. Take a closer look at the skeleton. The ribs of the creature are as long as your own trunk, although the age makes them brittle. You observe the long legs, horse-like head, and the massive stomach. You can't tell if you have ever seen such a beast alive, but surely not its trophies. A part that's uniquely sharp are the creature's claws. They could pierce 2 pieces of your skull at once, as curved as a war pick and as heavy as an axe. And the marks on the walls perfectly match them. While impressive, they are too old and awkward to be turned into tools. I leave the chamber. I move forward. You forge ahead for another few long minutes, no longer able to see the light from the exit. You need to stand on someone's shoulder to touch the ceiling. So far you could ride through the tunnel without getting out of the saddle. The sound of a stream is reaching you from ahead. So wait, I'm with aggro? No, I don't think so. You could ride through the tunnel. Okay, I'm not riding, but I could. The sound of a stream is reaching you from ahead. This time there are no side paths. I examined the tunnel. You spend a few minutes walking back and forth. Here the wooden support is denser, with more beams both on the walls and on the ceiling. The trash, on the other hand, is sparse, and you find nothing of use. The animal trails turn back to the entrance, with the exception of the human-like bony prints. The stream has formed a wide pond. You stab it in a few spots, but it turns out to be only a finger or 2 deep. There is no sign of a breach. Let's take a closer look at the water. It's clean, but the dark rocks and the lack of light camouflage its soft, sand-like bed. You find a few fish bones and other remains, but with every step you disturb the sediment, further clouding the water. The water flows from you right to left. Its trail is wide enough to follow, at least for a few steps, and so tall you can do so without crouching. I don't think I followed the water the first time I played. The corridors become less spacious after just a few steps, but you manage to take a good look around, moving both with and against the flow. The wet walls are home to worms, mold, and what looks like pale spiders, though with only 6 legs. Among the commotion you spot a cave ear sticking out of the wall, a familiar though unfriendly mushroom, the creamy color distorted by your light. You grab your knife and cut away what seems like the least bug-infested chunk, and after wrapping it with a linen sheet you watch your hands. The cave ear is used by some fighters to enhance their senses in combat. You may want to take it to an alchemist. I move forward. The open door to your right leads to a narrow corridor. You take a look further down the tunnel. A cave-in broke the timber, blocking the path forward. Let's take a look at the cave in. You push away a few rocks, making them roll on the floor, but the blockade is at least a few steps deep. It would take an entire team of diggers to get through if it's possible at all. You climb up a bit and peek through a larger hole close to the ceiling. There's a weak light coming from the distant end of the tunnel. I walk through the door. It squeaks. The corridor resembles the interiors of a fortress, with flat, regular walls and a ceiling so low you couldn't ride through it. You reach another, much larger chamber, which seems to mimic the corridor's style. The spoiled food and moldy planks make you hold your breath. The chamber used to serve as a dining spot with tables, chairs, shelves for mugs, and barrels of drinks. But all that's left are worms and mustiness. You don't see the furthest wall until you bring your light closer. The open door leads to a new natural cavern. Another closed door is in the corner of the room. Opposites. My English sometimes fails me. Opposite the one you came from. I searched the chamber. The place was abandoned in haste, but you find no signs of large creatures, bones, or destruction. The wood gives way only to time. A few of the barrels still contain liquids, though you wouldn't dare open them. Close to the exit leading to a cave, you find a hook with a simple iron key. You pick it up and it stains your hand with rust. I try to open the door in the corner. The door gives away. The next room is also too large for your light to reach all the corners at once. The empty shelves, chests, and spear racks give you no promise of a hidden treasure. But you also find a box with rusty nails, a cracked barrel in the corner, and a broken blade. You could spend some time collecting these and other iron scraps, then sell them in a village. In the room's corner, you notice a wide sheet of moldy fabric that covers a large part of the wall. I examined the curtain. It's divided in the center, allowing you to draw it. Behind it, you find a tiny room, maybe 2 steps wide and 3 steps deep. It's silent, not as humid. The wall ahead isn't like the others. It's covered with red and purple bricks. The walls to your left and right bear a few iron hooks that could be used to hang cloaks, paintings, or trophies. The corners aren't too dusty and there are no footprints on the floor. You inspect the brick wall further. In its center, at chest high, you spot a distinctive engraving. It's a winged hourglass about a finger long. It's a match. You fit it into the grooves, then press. The brick moves deeper inside, then bounces back, allowing you to draw it out completely. In the secret compartment, you find a key made of bronze. It is as large as your forearm. Having no useful tools at hand, you struggle to dismantle the barrel and cut away all the bits of wood that are attached to the pieces of iron and steel. After a long while, you prepare a decent, clanging sack. For now, you move it to the dining chamber and leave it by the exits. The spoiled food and moldy planks made you hold your breath. The cave is so moist that the diggers placed planks on the ground, serving as a now useless bridge through the puddles. The rocks, shaped like icicles, ominously hang from the ceiling, in some spots merging with their on-the-floor counterparts and forming hourglass-like columns. I searched the chamber. You leave the rotten planks and explore the cavern carefully, making the light dance on the droplets and puddles, but you find nothing of use or value. The door opens quietly and you return to the main tunnel. You could turn south again and see if there's anything you missed, but after you blinked a few times, you realize there's a light at the opposite end of the tunnel far ahead. It's weak and flickers like a torch. I hide my own lights. You simply put it on the ground in the entrance to the cavern with the stalactites. You'll pick it up if you need. I move closer to the light. You put away your light and sneak forward. You pay attention to sounds and movements, but there's no crackling of a fire camp, no wandering or chatter. You see a shape of a gate far in the distance. Let's get closer. Stumble over the cord that's stretched right above the ground, starting the clatter of pieces of woods and bones that are hanging from it. The light at the end of the tunnel draws near, followed by a few human-like figures. The creatures don't shout or wail, but neither make threatening gestures nor cast angry glances. You hear only the rattle of their bones as they hit against the rocky floor. The empty eye sockets of the naked skulls reveal nothing. The 4 skeletons wear a few rags and 2 of them still have scraps of flesh on their limbs. Their weapons are unconvincing. Simple digging tools and spears tipped with rocks, but you notice the speed and confidence of their movements. The one in the back is holding a wooden lantern, while another one is carrying a fresh torch, but the group doesn't pay much attention to their steps. Evie, hi, welcome in. What's up? What's up is that I'm playing this text-based RPG called Roadwarden. I played it before last year. Had kind of a bad ending, so I'm trying again this year. Maybe I'll do better this time. How are you doing? Run towards the door behind me. I am ready to face them, cause my vitality is full, my armor is almost full, and I have full force. So yeah, I'm ready to face them. Both you and the skeletons have the time to take a proper stance, filling the chambers with the thuds of your boots and bones. With or without flash, your target blocks and dodges, making you fight as if you are facing a human, not a bloodthirsty beast. You struggle to land any hit with the weight of your axe, hardly compensating for all the parrying, darkness, and rattling. Your brave swings shift into a defensive stance when a powerful blow reaches your back. Wait. My full armor was gone? My armor was full. I have 4/4. Now it's 0? What the hell? Your brave swings shift into a defensive stance when a powerful blow reaches your back, dangerously close to the spine, and is then followed by a strike to your cheek. You try to lead your enemy to a different spot. Finally, you end up surrounded with crushed and detached bones, gasping for air and hurting. The corridors fall silent. One hit landed on your arms, causing it to bleed slightly. I'll decide what... Okay, so at least I won the battle, but... Bloody hell! They took out all my armor. I'll decide what to do with the corpses after I leave the tunnel. Nothing much, you're just stressing out. Oh no. And working on a project for a client. Well, I hope you don't stress too much. I'll decide what to do with the corpses after I leave the tunnel. Okay, that battle took out too much from me. How can I... Oh yeah, stressing out because he's pushing you to do it as soon as possible. Well, it's Christmas. They should give you a little break. Enter the dark chamber ahead. I want to take my lantern back. While the chamber is in shambles, you recognize its unusual furniture. The sharpened stakes, shield-like tables for crossbow users, empty spear racks. If necessary, it could be the last line of defense for guards and diggers, surrounding any beasts or a bandit determined enough to reach this end of the tunnel. You are in front of a massive double-leaf gate, taller than two humans, made of bronze. You are not sure if a single shell can even move it. I know it can't move because I saw the outside of the gate and I know it's barred. I searched the room. The project is based on Christmas, that's why he's burning me. Oh, I see. Yeah, so they want it done before Christmas is over. While there's plenty of furniture to look under or push aside, the undead left little to no signs of their presence, as if they were idly standing for years. Yet they had a lantern and a torch that was still lit? Like how the undead was keeping the fire? Are they smart like that? A small pile of candles and another, much larger one, of candle stumps. Don't explain why the walking corpse would use light. Yeah, that was my question, yes. You grab a few of the candles for later. Take a look at the gate, why not? It's made of sheets held by thick bars. The picture is impressed on the surface portray fissures and their catch, sea monsters covered with nets, falling harpies and working diggers. While it's doubtful, it's made of a material worthy of turning into blades. It's priceless. You look through the keyhole, observing the continuing path and the clear sky with ease, despite the cobwebs. You take a deep breath of fresh air, then put 4 fingers inside. I open the gate with a huge key. Easier said than done. Rotating the key alone makes you hold your breath. And as you work at pushing the leaves open, you puff and blow, taking breaks. After it's done, you wipe your sweaty forehead, giving a proud look at the light that has now entered the chamber. I return to the tunnel. His viewers and audience are waiting for the changes. Yeah, but they want it done for Christmas. They could have asked earlier. Well, I don't know if they asked earlier or not. But I worked once with a person, every time someone said, oh, I need this thing done for yesterday. They always replied, oh, the things for yesterday were delivered before yesterday because they were asked for a month ago. If you wanted this for yesterday, you should have asked me a month ago. That was their answer every time someone tried to rush them, like, oh, I need this yesterday. They were like, well, it's your problem. You didn't ask earlier. You put away your light and sneak forward. The tunnel's quiet. Go back to the crossroads. I go back to Agro. Agro welcomes you with a nicker. It may be the right time to take care of the corpses. Picking up the bones won't take you much time, but the funeral traditions are rather demanding. You need to chop and gather enough wood to form a big pile somewhere down the hill. Of course, the orthodox approach is not the only one possible. Whoever these creatures used to be, they deserve proper parting rites. It may take me 3 hours or so. I have 6 hours of daylight, so I'll spend an hour and a half breaking and crushing the bones, then spread them around. In half an hour I'll pick up all the bones and throw them around the hills. I'll get back to it later. Since they were undead, I'm not comfortable throwing them to the wolves, because they might carry some curse. I do have 3 hours left. I have more than 3 hours left, so I will give them the proper rights. Now I have no armor anymore and I'm pretty dirty. That's bad. After spending a few more minutes in the darkness, you bring the 3 sacks filled with human remains to a small, regrowing clearing. You put on gloves, prepare some tools, and collect wood from the thicket and the tunnel, crudely splitting branches and logs. Covered with sweat, oil, and the scent of smoke, you observe the head-high flames. The bones are sticking out of the wood like hedgehogs' quills, and cracks from the heat loudly. I should wash my hands, yes. Let's travel. Back to Foggy's, or I have 3 hours. How? 1 hour to go back to Foggy's. You know what? I'm gonna go back to Foggy's because I'm dirty. People stay away from me. I smell of sweat and dirt. My clothes are torn. If I go to that new town like that, they're already not nice to me. If I go back there dirty, they won't be welcoming. So let's do a save. Let's do a shave. And let's travel back to Foggy. The grass in the animal pen has managed to grow back a bit, which your mount welcomes with droopy, relaxed ears. There are dozens of feathers scattered around the yard, as well as some blood stains on an apron that's hung on the fence. Approach the foragers. They're chatting about the weather, planning the next couple of hours. Okay, there's still 4 days until the bird hunting with them. I know who this guy is, the guy without one hand is, but I don't want to approach them right now. I think I haven't earned their friendship enough yet. I think they're gonna be defensive if I try to. The air is humid and stuffy. The tables were just washed with a wet cloth. Foggy is eating stew from a bowl, but once she sees you, she finishes with a large few gulps. She welcomes you with a gentle nod. How is my inventory doing? Let's see if I can sell something to Foggy. You show her what you have for sale, but she waves her hand. Nah, love. Come back with something I could sell for a profit, or maybe hang on the wall. You collect your belongings. Should I go to sleep already? There is still 2 hours of daylight, but I can't travel anywhere anymore, because I think anywhere I go it would take a couple of hours. Let's see if they have a job for me. She scratches the stump of her missing arm. Her powerful voice carries a hint of a threat. I need a soul who can handle a delicate task. I'm not sure it's you, dear. She doesn't trust me enough to give me another job yet. Okay, fine, let's go to sleep then. I have enough coins to pay for it. The rains once again hit the ground, interrupting your sleep. Another day of muddy roads. At least I'm... Oh no, I'm not. You notice it while you undress. One of your recent wounds is going to leave a mark. I first noticed it by touch, then see it in the reflection of my blade, a long cut on my cheek. The deep cut in my hand still hurts, especially when I make a fist. No. Managed to ignore it, but the cut on my leg hurts with every step. No. The bruises on my stomach. I think that which one I choose here is gonna have an effect on my character, probably. On the stats of my character. But you know what? I'm a Roadwarden. It happens. It's perils of the job I took. Work hazard. So let's just keep it clean. Listening to the grunts of the annoyed aggro makes you feel uneasy, but at least the furs covering the floor are helping you relax. You don't even notice when it's already morning, and while the smell coming from the lower floor is not inviting, at least it's not you who has to take care of it. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. I like to eat. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. After a moment, the keeper brings you oat toasted cornbread, a large slice of mouflon cheese, and a piece of roasted pike. Once you're done, Foggy packs the leftovers for you as a snack for the rest of the day and mentions that you already paid for another one meal. Time for me to go. I'm still dirty and without armor, so maybe I should go all the way back to Howler's Dell. Because there's a tailor there who might be able to fix my armor. Or Pelt of the North. But Pelt of the North is 7 hours. I do want more armor. You know what? I will take the long route to Pelt of the North, because then I can stop here at the ruins to wash myself and get some fish. And then move to Howler's Dell and sell the fish, the scraps, the silk, and then buy better armor. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's travel all the way back to Pelt of the North. The god ignores your arrival. As you ride in, the other hunters sitting at a table, gambling for apples. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's shop, yes. Yes, let's go to the armorer. You walk past the well and find a small open shed, not unlike the stable, but with a humble set of tables, carving tools, hammers, sharpening stones, pincers, knives, and other tools. As long as something can be solved by brute force, this place will find a way to do so. There are two people sitting on a long bench. The first one is a male with maybe inch-long hair, a cleanly shaven face, a thin long yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He ignores your presence, sewing a gambeson with great concentration. The second person is a boy, maybe 15, who's wearing the crude outfit of a farmer. He glances at you, but soon returns to sharpening a long dagger. Greetings. The man raised his head, but it's the boy who speaks, focused on his task. He ain't talking, tell him what it is that you need. The man smiles in confirmation, looks at the piece of garment in his hands, then looks around, shrugs, and returns to you with a raised eyebrow. He nods, points at the laces in front of your jacket, raises his clenched fingers to his shoulder, then gently spreads and lowers them, as if he's taking off a robe. You follow his command and allow him to properly inspect your gambeson. After a few minutes, he gives it back, then reaches for his pouch. He pulls out one dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves both of them in the air, pursing his lips. He makes a few speech-like noises with his empty mouth, growing what sounds like, I don't know. I do have 2 dragon bones. And I do need armor. 1 hour? I might need to sleep here then. I'll pay 1 more, yes. All my money's gone now. I leave the shed. You return to the courtyard, you hear the clinking of tools coming from... I enter the inn, let's see if I can sell something here. I have 3 hours. No, wait. 3 hours I can go here, and I can go, barely go to Howler's Dell. Okay. Do I have anything you'd like to buy? Let's see what you got. Don't put it on the counter, if you may. He glances at your catch, then at the stove. My crew doesn't hunt for fish, the lakes and rivers are too far away, and they ain't trained with all the weaving, worms and rods. Sell me 2 at once and I'll give you a coin. I ain't wasting the firewood on just 1. Deal. I could free you from this iron and steel, but we don't have a furnace to work with them. Let's say 6 coins. Oh, that's good enough for me. You pull out some items, but the innkeeper shakes his head. I don't need those, nor could I sell them to anyone. I'd rather make coins than waste them, so bring me something of value. Okay. Show me your wares. I want something to wash myself with. Oh, by the way, yeah, let's go outside. Let's go to the well, and I'll wash my shell. Step away. Apparently I can't sleep here, at least not yet. There's still 3 hours. Let's travel. Do I risk stopping by the village? I'll barely make... Well, you know... If it takes too long, I can just go back to the pelt. Yeah, I'm going to the ruins. Consider washing myself in the river. Can't, I need soap. I set the fish trap again. Uh, 2 hours. I'm still within reach of Howler's Dell. So yeah, let's go to Howler's Dell to call it a day. You approach the opening gate and then swiftly dismount. A guard approaches you, ready to take your mount to a stable. Greetings, Roadwarden. What news do you bring? We gossip for a bit. The curious locals gather around to take part in our conversation. Recently, during the last hunting trip, one of the hunters was badly injured. If spells won't help, she may even lose an arm. I enter the village. The stable master shows up soon after a step away from Agro. His lips are thinned and he gives a longing glance toward the breach. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a coin. I want Agro happy. He nods with gratitude and throws the bone into a leaky bucket hanging from a nail. Yeah, I let him to work alone. Yeah, let's go to sleep. 2 is a lot, but at least I'm gonna be cleaner when I wake up. The shivers wake you up. You open the window and see the dense fog covering Howler's Creek. It's... Oh yeah, the creek. I was gonna say, oh, it's Howler's Dell, actually. No, but I think it's referring only to the creek that crosses the town, spreading like milk throughout the entire village. You hear an amused squirrel coming from the main square, and spot the dancing light of torches and lanterns. Yet the village remains calm and asleep. Fogs tend to get more common in late summer, but the tribes of the Dragonwoods often see them as a bad sign. The wild spirits they carry are believed to impact both the visible and the invisible, and not in ways that help humankind. I sigh. If there are any undead in the woods, the fog will strengthen them. You spend the night in peace, in a clean bed, with a tightly shut window and a warm blanket. In the morning you find a stool placed by your bed, covered with an eggplant soup, a bowl of pears, and some crumbly biscuits. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy who's covered in mud and speaks unusually, loud and enthusiastically, mentions that Agro has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Thais is nowhere to be seen. I leave the square. Let's see if the tailor wants to buy my silk. You follow the guard's directions and reach the whitewashed building standing on the western bank. next to a small garden of flowers and herbs. It's well kept and clean, with a plain, beaten front yard, in parts covered with sand. Through the open windows you catch a glance of the furniture, made of smooth, almost shiny wood with hints of dark, cherry-like red, decorated with carvings of plants. A woman in her 40s is sitting on a wooden bench. The table is covered with fabrics, threads, and needles made of bones and iron. She's sewing a long sleeve to what's going to become a blue tunic. Her movements are quick and confident. Her brown, wavy shoulder-length hair is tied into a wreath-like braid, but other than that, her clothes are simple and inconspicuous. She doesn't have a left leg, but you don't notice any cane. You observe her for a few moments until, without sparing you so much of a glance, she encourages you to speak with a grunt. I'm looking for a tailor. You found one. Her voice is low and she doesn't stop her work. Name's Bion. Bion? Bion. I forgot about the rawhide. Any idea who could have left this rawhide behind? Bring it close, but do keep it away from my fabrics. After a minute of examination, she tells you to take it away. Very sloppy. Those from creeks don't know what they're doing. But we would need buy it, need doubt. I wanted to sell you my silk. Don't you buy? Okay. Yeah, let's offer. No, let's go to the main square. And the trader is not around yet, so yeah, let's offer my services. You'll be a messenger between a few groups of hunters that will hide in various parts of the wetlands, close to the southern road. The task will take you about half a day and may get dangerous. The expedition faced a few difficulties, and at one point you had to flee desperately towards safety. You're tired and your clothes got torn in the process. Let's go to Akakios. I bring goods to sell. Spider silk. Sneaking around spiders? You should take this stick to Bion, our tailor. She uses spider silk when she works with jackets. Yes, I tried. There was no option. Do you have one with a boar or an elk? He says without conviction. I guess it's pretty enough. I'll give you one dragon ring. What do you have for sale? Nothing that I can buy. When it happens, sparse supplies. He puts a finger to his lips, giving it a slight bite. The druids are better at casting healing than making bombs. Used to be different, but magic's stronger, regardless. Before you can change the topic, he points northeast. Try by White Marshes. This, what's his face, a warlock there, who used to take lessons at our village, from the old archdruids. If anyone around here knows his way around leaves, it's him. Okay. Let's try the tailor again. The boredom in her voice is palpable. I'm near bard. You take it off and point at its tears. The woman follows your finger patiently. Here's my price. For 2 dragon rings, I'll patch it up in half an hour. If it was in worse shape, I'd ask for more time and more rings. To get it truly strong for longer, you need it to be made of better materials like spider silk, yes. Tell me more about the spider silk. It is a silk made by spiders. Okay, they are not chatty. They don't want it. I got it. You don't want to talk with me. She's the first one to break the silence. The large ones, they use it to spin webs. It's stronger than threads. But my neighbors do need walk to the woods anymore. It is getting harder and harder to get any silk. I actually have some. You show her the wrapped stick and without asking she takes one of the shorter threads and starts to stretch it. She nods. I do. What do you want? The dragon rings or a better jacket? You ask her for the details and she loses more of her patience with everybody. 10 rings for the thread. Or give me 2 hours now and I will put some of it here. She vaguely points at bits of your gambeson to make it stronger and easier to wear. Dragons are always welcome, yes. Both the coins and actual dragons. Dragons are cool. But yeah, I want better armor. You spend the time brushing and watering aggro, practicing combat moves and stances with your axe, and washing your hands, face and neck. Near the end of the hour, you return to the tailor and sit down on a stump, relaxing to the sound of Howler's Creek. She asks you to come closer and points at the spots where the seams were ripped and replaced with spider silk, which is much lighter than the old thread. It will need get stronger than this, unless you cover it with a troll hide or something. Okay, thank you. 7 hours in the day. Here's the thing. I am gonna go because I want to cross the heart of the forest now that I have full armor on and full force and full heart and full nourishment. I'm full at everything except being clean. So I'm just gonna travel a little bit toward there to see how it is, and then to talk with Quintus. But I'll only explore it tomorrow, not today. Tomorrow in game day, not in real life day. The corridor of leaves and grey rocks leads you to a gate, large enough for a wagon, held together by a wooden bar. The planks and rocks are covered with claw marks left by various monsters, but they weren't able to damage the wall as much as the passage of time and the piercing rains. A large man covered in shadows is observing you from the roofed tower. His voice is hoarse, distrustful. You lost? I don't know, you mug. Friendly. I'm Evo, the new Roadwarden. You are a good gatekeeper, I assume. Yeah, let's be short. Oh yeah, just on duty and an arm, so you know. He lifts a loaded crossbow and sticks it out of the shadows. But I'm no enemy of yours. He leaves the tower. He's wearing a black gambeson, so ragged it can't be fastened anymore. It tells a story of claws, thorns, and improvised repairs. The hole in the man's hemmed pants reveals a scrapped knee. It's hard to tell his age through his exhausted, sleepy eyes. A short, unkempt beard and a bandage horizontally covering his ears and the spot that used to be his nose. There's clotted blood in his brown hair and mud on his clothes and brown neck. Despite all this, he's of a huge shell, with wide shoulders and thick legs. He straightens up. So, Warden, you new to the job? New here, but I know what I'm doing. No past would prepare you for the shit place. Nights are all ape piss and blood. Just before sunrise, a bird's tried to pluck my eye. This gate here? He kicks a brick with his heel. It's older than me. All there? He points behind him with his weapon. Wilds and beasts. My tribe built this place to keep them away from us, and us from them. He scratches the bandage on his cheek. Name's Quintus, from Old Pagos. Been there? I have. So you know, we used to send one soul here every morning and score them back before nightfall. But some days ago, no one came for me. I spent the night here sneaking wolf shits among... Can't read. Sneaking wolf shits almost got me. He picks up an almost empty water skin from behind a parapet and takes a sip. I went home by myself, only to learn about the sick. I've been here ever since. What do you know about the plague? Not much, it kills, that's all there is to know. My tribe's smart, locking the gate. The riot gave them strength. He trembles, his eyes widen. Someone has to stay at the gate. The villages in the east don't know about the illness. They may try crossing the woods, hit the closed gate while fleeing some wolves and stuff. He rubs his dirty neck. And also, I can't leave the gate open. It's like a dam for monsters. It's all I can do is choose the way I die. This is it. That's my duty fulfilled. You could at least spend the nighttime in one of the villages. He adjusts his jackets by shaking his shoulders, making the buckles jingle. I'm not a beggar, and the villages in the north won't help me far more than a day or two. I've got no dragon bones, just this little ibex. He pats his crossbow. Old Pagos is by itself. We don't look for kind folks. He thinks for a moment. I'll just wait. I'll get back home once the plague's done, or before winter. You look at his disfigured face. He either be mad or dumb. He may be a bit too proud, yeah. He glances at Agro. You understand, I'm sure. Wardens are souls of duty. Yeah, above this gate. Here, see? He points at the long, twisted rope that hangs from an iron hook. I could climb down and remove the beam on the other side. You take down yours. You need at least 3 hours to get through the woods. He touches his stomach and takes a deep breath. But I need you to give me aught first. What do you want? I'm hungry. Bring me some rations maybe. Dried meat, apple, nuts. He sizes you up. 6 meals. Then I'll help you with the gate. 6 meals? Do I have that much? I have 5. Sure, I'll bring you some food. What can you tell me for what's behind the gate? Oh, not much. He chuckles, turns into a cough. It leads through lowlands, mostly woods and some ponds. It's dark and little. He mentions tales of ghosts, dragons, fogs, and blood mages. But whenever you ask about any creature in particular, his response is vague and brief. The tribes abandoned this path ever since the war. The trade has been slow. People refuse to patrol it. The plants are getting taller, but for at least a few more seasons, it's still a shortcut. It's good that you have a mount. If Kots chases you, stay close to the path and ride as fast as you can. No one uses this road, why are you here? He scowls at you. Not no one. It's where people hunt for monsters, and every few days I have to open it for reasons. I'm looking for a Astarion. That's nice, but he hasn't been here in many days. You sure he's not dead? After you admit that he very much may be, he puts a hand on his waist. Well, better get ready to slit open every dragon battling in the wilds. Did he often travel through the woods? Sure, though on a different mount. He had a Saurian, 4 ibexes long, 2 ibexes tall. It moves on 4 legs and jumps high and far. It's dark green, like rotten leaves. That one time it was taking a piss in the shrubs, I was taking a piss in the shrubs, and Astarion made the beast run up the rock face and it jumped on that. He points at the hill. And like, they ran above the wall and landed on the other side, just like that. He snaps his fingers, his voice and eyes gain new vigor. You say the Saurian was large and green. I mean, not everywhere. He points at his eyebrows. He has red scales here and on the tail and shoulders, I think. I don't know what to call it. You ask him for a bit about Astarion, but he has little to add. There used to be 6 of us, keepers. I saw him every now and then, but not that often. Heard about some bandits. He scratches the bandage on his cheek. I only know there's one band somewhere, but not around. I never saw them. Why are you afraid of Glossia? He didn't say that? He straightens up and gives you a long look. I don't know who you are talking about. Let's travel back to Old Pagos. Tell them that Quintus is still alive and over there, protecting. The road is still covered with the peddler's leftovers, as well as all the leaves and branches on the ground. But at least the beast is nowhere in sight, even though there are some fresh paw prints just nearby. Your plan worked just fine. There are no sounds of work, just the song of insects and birds. You knock on the gate and Tertia opens the pee-hole after a minute or so. You approach the gate and knock at it. She gives you a long look. Healthy? Still? Good. I met Quintus. I've been in many settlements warning the locals about the plague. You don't have to worry about it. No, I have been. Why would that be a lie? Well, anymore, I met Quintus. So he's still with us. Her voice rings with enthusiasm. She asks about his well-being, reacting to your story with a mixture of worry and joy. I'm sorry to hear about his nose. What nose? He didn't tell me about the nose. I hope he knows what he's doing. In his position, I would just look for work in Hallersdale, or ask for help from his friends at Pelt. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to give you the news. I think I'm gonna go all the way back to Foggy's Lake, because I feel like Foggy's Lake is less expensive to sleep at, and I already paid for meals there. So yeah, back to Foggy's Lake. There's a hint of a strange stench and fresh claw marks left on the ground. A large Saurian entered and left the yard through the lake. There are new wares near the cot, either recently left here or prepared to be taken away. The tavern staff stops their discussion by a basket to welcome your arrival. Zvi is sitting on the ground while two others are leaning against the palisade. They glance towards you but say nothing. 2 more days until the bird hunting. Yeah, let's try. Let's try talking with the one that I know is from Tullia's camp. The man gives you a surprised glance, but then looks down and crosses his arms, holding his hand under his shoulder. I'm a new man now, there's nothing that ties me to the army. You've crossed a great part of this land, greater than the most. Have you seen anything unusual? He takes a deep breath, his voice is close to a whisper. There's fog in my soul. I was on the eastern road, hungry and sick, praying for the right to send his beast on me and save me from the pains of living. I remember the touch of fur and the breath on my neck, the claws pinning me on the ground, to the ground. I was waiting with my eyes closed, then I woke up in the middle of the night, still feeling. I got back on my feet, walking until I reached the lights of this tavern, without so much as a bruise. Foggy may have no faith in her heart, but the right used her kindness to give me a second chance. Island froze at the man's words, and there's cautiousness in his voice. He may be crazy, but it's true. He came here after midnight, raving. Maybe the monsters don't like his scent. So you forgot everything? He hides his stump in his palm of his hand and curls up. I've seen a dragon eating a tree, an ape that tore away the head of a monstrous cat, and a wolf without fur that was as quick as lightning. Now leave me alone, evil spirit, let my shame rest. Let my shame rest. He's shaking. Let him be, eh? Zvi grunts at you. Nothing wrong about men trying to forget. Ilan rubs his chin. A furless wolf, friend. I've heard about one. Our tribe's folk saw it in the heart of the woods. A nasty beast. Let's hope it won't find a mate for breeding. It charges at you like a runner and jumps right at your throat. He touches his neck, so even the hunters stay away from it. Too bad we've no crossbows. He raises his wooden club. Better to avoid the deep woods without one. Well, I do have one. And I am going to the deep woods. Let's sleep. Oh no, this is a bad... Yeah, no, fog is cheaper. But I get dirtier. Okay. I get cleaner if I sleep at the city. At Howler's, at least. Need to remember that the next time I want to get cleaner. But yeah, let's sleep. And let's go through the heart of the woods tomorrow. Listening to the grunts of annoyed Agro makes you feel uneasy, but at least the furs covering the floor are helping you relax. You don't even notice when it's already morning, and while the smell coming from the lower floor is not inviting, at least it's not who has to take care of you. I like to eat. This is my last meal that I paid for. Let's leave. You know what? I will save. Do a quick break because it's been almost an hour and a half. And the next part is gonna be tense. And then I am gonna cross the heart of the woods. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and now to the tense part of the game. Let's cross. Oh, I need to go all the way back. How do I go? How do I cross the heart of the... Ah, here. Here, I think. It's where I cross the hearts. It's 2 hours to here, it's 3 hours to here. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. The path leads downward, through the hills. The forest gets thicker, and the signs of human touch are rare. The lone, large boulder surely draws attention. You can't guess its age, but the paths around suggest it was past plenty of time already. You stop aggro to take a closer look. The remains of red paint are covering the eastern side. It's the same message as the one you saw at the southern crossroads. Don't enter, danger ahead. You look down the dark road and hear the distant roar of a dragon. I scratch Agro's neck. I'm ready. Let's do a quick save just to be sure. You can't help but smile. Your palfrey snicker brings you comfort. No matter how dark it's going to get, the sky above your head is bright and blue. Travel to the gate in the west. The stream ahead can be crossed by a humble fort, made of hundreds of rocks that used to reach from the bottom to the surface, but is now partially demolished, either by time or a living creature. For a rider, crossing it won't be much of a problem, but most travelers would have to take off their pants and shoes. Moving an entire wagon would pose quite a challenge. The water is clean and the banks are low, a good watering spot for Agro. For now I ignore it. If I throw rocks at the... Because I feel like if I throw rocks, some animals are gonna come at me. So yeah, I'm gonna ignore for now. The colors of leaves range from green to purples and overwhelm you with shadows. The stems of the shrubs twisted in all directions, seeking the slightest scraps of sunlight. The trees are not too tall, but their trunks are as wide as buildings. The neglected road has been carved into the thicket, an inch at a time. A corridor of plants with a floor made of pebbles that give way to saplings and vines. From time to time you pass by many turns, relics left by roaming dragons, unicorns and trolls. Some of them are still used by beasts, boars, striped cats and packs of goblins. The birds are sharing their songs as cheerful as ever. When necessary, I clear any thicket that's in Agro's way. You reach a gap in the tunnel of plants. The meadow nourishes a lonely tree, growing in the shadow of a rocky hill, surrounded by humble grasses. Near the tree roots, a wolf without fur is feasting on a human corpse, unaware of your presence. I will try. I wanna cross. And I will quick save. Actually, I'm gonna actually save because I don't know where the quick save and I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna be bold. My armor is full, my force is full, Vitalis is full. I will try to kill this beast. I attack. You get down. I try to sneak up the beast with my axe. I shoot it with my crossbow. Forget it. I shoot it with my crossbow. You have little time to aim as the large wolf strides toward you. The quarrel soars forward as the beast whimpers. The blood runs down its shoulder from the deep wound. It freezes for a moment and then gives you another glance. I wait for its attack, ready to use my advantage. It walks around you with a lowered head, seeking an opportunity and getting used to the wound. You hold your axe firmly, trying to tell anything from the creature's black eyes. I clash with it, cutting it once it gets closer. I'll bait it into biting my armored forearm, then chop it on its side. I'll not throw my axe, that's stupid. I'll wait till it gets closer. The beast jumps at you and pins you to the ground, but not before you cut it into its side. You push away its throat with your forearm, saving your neck while you spasmodically move the blade up and down, side to side. You can't catch a breath. Finally, you find a way to kick the weakened creature off of you. Gasping for air, you get up, raise your blood-covered blade, and chase after the stumbling foe. It whimpers in pain, fleeing with the grace of an old drunk. Chases after it. You take a couple of deep, slow breaths and stretch out your arms. Agro is looking around, stepping in place. You approach it slowly, speaking with a soft voice to calm it down, and grab the water skin to wash your wounds. I look at the beast. Its brown shell is muscular, with pronounced shoulder blades, the hair resembling your arms, and a tuft of black fur at the end of its foot-long tail. The inch-long canines stick out of the saurian-like maw. Its eyes are like two pieces of shining charcoal. A male too large to carry around, too shiny to cut away a nice piece of meat. I cut myself a trophy. It takes a couple of strong hits with your battle axe, but it's not too bad. You grab the head by the ear, avoiding its eyes, and let the creak of blood spill onto the grass. You rotate it around for a bit, shaking off as much flesh and scraps of brains as you can. You know what? Foggy said something that she would like some trophies. I can bring it back to Foggy. You attach it to your saddle, hoping it won't besmear Agro. At least it doesn't stench yet. You have a day or two before it starts to rot. I examined the corpse. Parts of its chest, face, neck, and arms were turned into a red mush. The wolf didn't break any bones, not even the ribs. The first worms start to crawl over its blood-soaked clothes. The human was a male with brown skin and short black hair. His brown pants and green jacket were made of dyed leather. It has no sacks, bags, or equipment, but you spot a trail of blood leading into the trees. The creature must have dragged the shell from the deeper woods. Inside the left ear, you spot a trinket made of an animal bone, which contrasts with the dark skin and lures your eyes away from the blood. I removed the earring from the corpse's ear. With a few splashes of water, you wash the cold blood off your hands and the knife. I ride away. Your eyes wander between the wall of trees and shrubs on one side and the dirty pond on the other. The road itself is wide, covered with soggy logs that keep the ground from tuning into mud. It's breaking under your mount's hooves, letting out what sounds like a sigh of relief. The water insufferably stinks of carrion, and it's covered with a blanket of green plants and white flowers that draw countless buzzing insects. Yeah, even the horse shouldn't drink from it. Agro tries to get familiar with the unusual pavement and speeds up to jump over a fallen trunk blocking your path. Once it lands, it breaks a... Whoa. Oh, for a moment there you scared me. I read it breaks one of the legs, and I was like, no, not my horse. Once it lands, it breaks one of the logs in halves. Soon after, you reach a massive black saurian resting on the ground, enjoying the light at the edge of the forest. It seems to be ignoring your presence. Once again, Agro canters. I trust his instincts. Once the monster raises its head, you're already in the air. The beast pushes itself away from the ground with its forelimbs, trying to catch any chunk of flesh from its massive jaws, but you safely hit the ground and return to a trot slowly. I pay attention to the dead trees sticking out of the pond. They look similar to that saurian. The road is bright, empty, surrounded by sparsely growing trees. gentle hills and meadows. It leads you to a cairn, a pile of rocks ranging in size from your abdomen to your fist. There's also quite a few tiny pebbles. A narrow, hardly passable trail leads south, but likely won't survive another year without traveler. South? Not yet. Maybe. I still have like 7 hours. I think I can cross here. It's enough hours to cross here. So yeah, I'm gonna check south. But first, let's take a look at the cairn. It's wider than two people standing side by side and taller than Agro. The grass surrounds it tightly. It must be years old, but could just as well be older than any village in the north. You'll find rocks in many colors, including red, cream, white, black, and blue, and many dotted or mixed ones. While the cairn stays... I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Cairn? 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 I'm gonna keep saying cairn. While the cairn stays firmly beneath your touch, it would be easy to shatter it with a pickaxe or a single swipe of a dragon. You also notice pieces of old chicken bones pressed among the rocks. Unfortunately, no coins. I take the narrow path south. You grab Agro's head and use your axe to get through the branches and the tall grass. After a few minutes, you reach a colorful meadow with orange, red, and white flowers, as tall as a wheat field. Their late summer scent lures all sorts of insects as well as tiny birds. The path ends at the edge of the glade. A bird or an ape may get me from above. I move forward but keep an eye on the closest trees. A cat could leap at me from among the flowers. I keep looking around. Observe the ground. Observe the ground for a snake. You tether your mount to a tree and tread forward carefully, keeping your eyes and weapons low. Soon a corpse hits the ground, and you wipe the blood off your axe. You take a deep breath and crouch by the 100-leg worm, as wider as your fist and 3 feet long. It attempts to crawl up your boots, but you cut through the red plates covering its armor with a confident cut. Your step forces the mice and insects to spread, but your presence remains hardly noticed by the colorful life around you. Continue my journey. Every minute or so you get lost in dense woods. When possible, you stick to the remains of the beaten path, clearing the overgrown thicket that blocks your way. But it would take many more travelers to sustain such a trail. The land around you may lack greens, but is far from being empty. The fallen boughs and dead stumps are slowly devoured by ants and mushrooms, a web-like labyrinth of wooden walls. While the white termites, larger than your hand, continue their never-ending march. Their guards notice your presence, but simply form a warning line in front of their workers. The trees are taller than the temple in the city, with trunks resembling the legs of giants. The shadows they cast are like a carpet, and the few beams of light nourish the sparse bushes and ferns. The only plants that aren't choked by the rotting, late summer leaves, shaped like toothed squares, are as large as your face. Now that I'm more familiar with this part of the forest, I may be able to find a smoother path. The forest gives way to rocks and green hills, but among the tall trees are numerous monkeys, sitting in small groups, loud yet shorter than half your side. They distort the green leaves with red, brown, white, and blue fur. As you approach their territory, their excitement grows. They climb up and down the trunks, sway on vines, jump between branches, and hang down, putting to use their long tails. They throw at you countless angry glances and grunts, but also cones, branches, and chestnuts. A piece of their fresh feces lands close to Agro, but the pack's aim is rather miserable. What should I do? Dismount and yell back at them? That's a terrible, terrible idea. Let's try 2 precise shots from the crossbow. Loading a crossbow from the saddle isn't easy, but you've got time. You catch the second quarrel with your teeth, aim carefully, and pull the trigger. The colorful beast falls down in silence. Its companions point at the fallen shell, shouting as it doesn't move. The panic spreads through the troop, giving you time to reload. Soon another creature hits the ground, this time screaming in pain. The monkeys flee through the trees and either hide behind the trunks or observe you from denser leaves. The air in these bright, arid hills is much drier than in the woods. Down below, among the humble meadows, you spot a stone plateau, on top of which a group of bipedal creatures is feasting on a large carcass. From what you can see, only a few of them would reach your knees. But as the pack notices your gaze, it starts to regroup. I'm not looking for a fight. I stay on track. The clopping of your palfrey fills the silence corridor of rocks. Quintus looks at you from the top of the precipice that's near the tower. He crosses the parapet, gestures for you to wait, climbs down on the other side of the wall and opens the gate. Ye again. I'm not a monster. I can't keep ye at the wild's mercy, but he still owes me some food. Forgot to buy your rations. Sorry. Let's figure that now. How much coins do I have? 6? Okay. You ride through the open gate, then swiftly dismount. Some of the locals greet you politely, but they keep their distance. After you notice your own smell and the dirt on your clothes, you no longer wonder why. Main square. The innkeeper. Hey, I keep them in the hall. Smoked mutton, a sack of dried fruits, nuts, biscuits. We eat fresh here and pay with work. Coins are not worth much. When he thinks, his lips move as well. Let's say 1 ring for enough food to fill you for 2 days. In Hovlevan, that kind of price would buy you 3, even 4 times as much food. If you are in a mood for spending, I also have something special. Just give me a minute. He goes upstairs and returns with a small wooden box and a hand-long leather sheath. These are teeth sets. You are afraid of what he's going to show you, but he opens the box. You realize he meant teeth cleaning. See, he points at 3 different compartments. Salt, cloves, and mint. You mix whatever you want here. The fourth holds only a small pestle made of polished stone. And here are the twigs you need. They'll last for months. Seeing you are not convinced, he takes a deep breath. Well, we do need let outsiders bathe in our creek, but give me 2 dragons and I'll ask my kids to get you in shape. I'll get you a tub with soap and rose oil and they'll wash your clothes in water. I'll cook you something nice, as much as you can eat. Food rations is 1. You know, I do want to be clean. You don't keep track of time, easing your soul with warm water and whiffs of oil. You are served a cup of mint tisane, 3 chicken eggs and baked duck meat, while the youngsters wash your clothes in the stream. After an hour you return to Eric's. And some rations. And you know what? I'll buy another one. I'll buy plenty, because 6 are gonna be to Quintus anyway. Thanks. Do I have things to trade? I have the head of a beast. An old blanket. Let's see if they want to buy something from me. You take the trader to your bags, then show him the head of the beast that you faced in the heart of the forest. It's uglier than my grandma. Niso here will hang it on a wall. I'll give you a ring for it. Working it will make time, and who knows, we can know. Because I believe Foggy is gonna give me more. So let's travel back to... what time is it? 5 hours, yes. Let's travel back to Quintus. Because I own them. Some rations. While the larger birds are singing from the trees, the sparrows are searching for berries and insects among the shrubs. Quintus is sitting on the wall, cleaning his crossbow. I have your food rations. He gives you a radiant smile. He cups his large, scarred hands, waiting for you to give him the packages. Once you're done, he opens a sack of nuts and shoves them into his mouth. The bandage is the only thing that stops him from looking like a hamster. What's like living in old Pagos? He opens his mouth, giving you a puzzled look, then lets out a weak chuckle. What am I to say? We've got rocks. He taps the wall. And make houses, bows, tools. We sell them too. He grows oats and broad beans. Ibexes give us wool and skins for monks. What do you call it? The one you ride on? He moves on when you mention parchments. Yeah, it's a good place, beautiful. Old hill, that's what Pagos means. Old hill. When you bring up the monastery, his eyes get brighter. Good people. They came here on a mission, teaching us Wright's book. My grandparents were pagans, you know, but we now follow the river of truth. We keep to ourselves, but help others when they need us. I don't have money anymore, but I think I can sell this head to Foggy. So let's travel to Foggy Lake and hope I can. The light shines on the water and the empty road. With no herbal beds or travelers in sight, the tavern looks like an abandoned hamlet. You spot a baited claptrap set near the palisade. Someone is snorting in the attic. Foggy is eating stew from a bowl, but once she sees you, she finishes. People don't trust me enough to tell me stuff, to give me a job, to tell more about themselves. You lead her outside and reveal the head attached to your saddle. Foggy's eyes are wide open, and her grin turns into laughter. She grabs the head and moves it closer to her scarred face, looking deeply into its dead eyes. Next to her, the monster would be tiny. You brought me a treat, love. Her voice is so loud that Agro, already disturbed by the smell of blood, steps away. It will look plenty fine on my wall. 8 dragons. She looks at you with a smile. No soul in the north will give you more, and will soon turn into a stinking pup. Yeah, I knew she would give me more than 1 dragon. Deal. 8 is great. Now let me sleep. You lose your senses right after you lie down. In the middle of the warm, stuffy night, you are entangled by your dreams. Too tired to fully wake up, too accustomed to having a mid-sleep break to just go back to sleep. You are between the realms, surrounded by visions so vivid you are tempted to reach out, touch them, and stretch them out. They are your playground. Once I realize I'm in power, I do my best to enjoy myself. I fly and defeat dragon. I wouldn't care to disrupt the natural flow of dreams. I accept them as they are. No matter how much I try, my nightmares interfere. Try to break free of this state, thinking of all the things I meant to do tonight now. Yeah, no. Let's play around. Okay, let's save. And it's been only it's been less than 2 hours, close to 2 hours, and that's a little bit short, but I crossed. My target for today was to cross the heart of the wood, and I did. And so I'm gonna end this stream early. What should I do next stream? I think I need to explore here and here. Oh, I do have... What quests do I have? Wait. Explore the peninsula, I'm doing it. Find the Roadwarden. Bird hunt. Oh yeah, I have to do the bird hunting. Eastern path. Fallen tree, Galoshes, healing the plague, ruined village. Swamp altar. Okay, so I think next Tuesday when I'm gonna do the bird hunting and I'm gonna explore the ruined village. The bird hunting is here. I think it's been enough time already. Let's see. Bird hunting. Yeah, I think it's been enough days already. I think at the beginning of the next day I'll go bird hunting, and then after the bird hunting I'm gonna go explore more of the ruins. That's my goal for the next let's write it down. Next steps. Bird hunting, explore ruins, so I don't forget. Okay. That's all from me for today. It's time to power down. Bye bye.